good morning. This is Hound Dog Steve wishing you a very pleasant morning, and I hope this finds you well. And we are certainly in Snowland today, so I thought I would make a video I've been meaning to do for a little while here, and this is about the 7 principles of public life, or the Nolan principles. And I thought I would do this now because well, we've just gone through the US election and have a new president down there, and also Ontario is now wrapped up in a snap election called by the Conservative Party, and also I have it on good authority from a friend of mine who is involved in Elections Canada that we can expect a May election from the federal government. That's what they've been told to prepare for. Now that may change, but as far as I know, we have some elections coming up. So this 7 principles of public life is actually on the UK website, as you'll see here. So these 7 principles are absolutely excellent, and they are, I would remind you, like the minimum standard that we should expect from our politicians and civil servants. And I always find it amazing that these people, these lords and politicians and so on and so forth, write these lofty rules and regulations and then immediately flagrantly break them and throw them to the side of the road as if they were meaningless. And as we go through them, and I'm going to link this below so that you can copy it off, and when you bump into one of your politicians, you need to question them on these standards. Okay, now I have looked for these standards on the Canadian federal website and also the municipal website and the Ontario provincial government website, and I find them nowhere to be seen. There is a kind of flimsy code of conduct, but it certainly does not go into the precise detail of these standards. Okay, so let's go through these standards, and I think you'll see as we read them just how far we have lapsed from not just the word of law, but the spirit of the law in today's world that we live in. Okay, here we go. So here he is, Lord Nolan, in his wig and all from his days as a barrister. And okay, scroll down on Wikipedia here. Committee on Standards in Public Life. Lord Nolan chaired the Committee on Standards in Public Life from 1994 to 1997. The committee was set up in late 1994 by John Major's government after the Cash for Questions affair, and has conducted numerous other inquiries. Its first report in 1995 created waves by recommending full disclosure of MPs' outside interests. He also produced a report in Standards of Conduct in Local Government in July 1997. The principles embodied and articulated in the first report has since become embedded in the public life in Britain and are often referred to eponymously as the Nolan Principles. The Cash for Questions affair was a political scandal of the 90s in the United Kingdom. It began in October 1994 when the Guardian newspaper alleged that London's most successful parliamentary lobbyist, Ian Greer of Ian Greer Associates, had bribed 2 Conservative members of Parliament to ask parliamentary questions and perform other tasks on behalf of the Egyptian owner of Harrods department store, Mohammed Al Fayed. The furor prompted the then Prime Minister John Major to instigate the Nolan Committee to review the issue of standards in public life. So here we go, the 7 principles of public life. The 7 principles of public life, also known as the Nolan Principles, apply to anyone who works as a public office holder. This includes all those who are elected or appointed to public office, nationally and locally, and all people appointed to work in the civil service, local government, the police, courts and probation services, non-departmental public bodies, NDPBs, and in the health, education, social and care services. All public office holders are both servants of the public and stewards of the public resources. The principles also apply to all those in other sectors delivering public services. So here we go. 1. Selflessness. Holders of public office should act solely in terms of the public interest. Number 2. Holders of public office must avoid placing themselves under any obligation to people or organisations that might try inappropriately to influence them in their work. They should not act or take decisions in order to gain financial or other material benefits for themselves, their family or their friends. They must declare and resolve any interests and relationships. I wonder how that's working out. Number 3, holders of public office must act and take decisions impartially, fairly and on merit, using the best evidence and without discrimination or bias. Number 4, accountability. Holders of public office are accountable to the public for their decisions and actions and must submit themselves to the scrutiny necessary to ensure this. Number 5. Holders of public office should act and take decisions in an open and transparent manner. Information should not be withheld from the public unless there are clear and lawful reasons for doing so. So how many times have we seen this broken? Number 6, honesty. Holders of public office should be truthful. 7, leadership. Holders of public office should exhibit these principles in their own behaviour and treat others with respect. They should actively promote and robustly support the principles and challenge poor behaviour wherever it occurs. So, ladies and gentlemen, please, you decide yourself, and I am encouraging you to photocopy this, cut and paste, photocopy it and take it around when you go to any all candidates meetings, or you bump into your local councillor or any staff, and show it to them and say, listen, these are pretty well accepted. It's as the behavioural principles that all public office holders should exhibit, and see what they say. But this is what we have to start doing, ladies and gentlemen. We have to start holding these people's feet to the fire because, as I say, this is the minimum that we should be expecting from the people we elect and the people who work in public office. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that, and it'll give you a moment to reflect, and you can decide whether or not your politician or civil servant is living up to these standards. Now, I know it is a lot to be asking of these poor, humble servants of ours to be honest and transparent, but if we're ever going to get any kind of good governance, we need to have absolute transparency and absolute honesty. And they hold our feet to the fire as the general public. We are expected to be open and transparent at all times, whether it be with our finances, our public life, our private life. They can go into any of these and pick them apart and call us to task about them. And so if it's good enough for us, by golly, that's why they call them civil servants and public office, because they are employed by us. And surely we should be able to hold them to the same standards that they apparently hold us to. Okay, so if you've enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe below. I'd like to thank you all for taking the time, spending the time of day with me. It's always a pleasure to bring some of this information to you, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. But in the meantime, this is Hound Dog Steve signing off, wishing you a very pleasant morning, and we'll talk very, very shortly. See you now. Bye.